Thanks for coming. How many of you is give me the mic. How many of you is the first time at the meetup? Basically everybody. Cool. All right. How did you guys hear about it? Just meetup, or I know you've been, yeah. Just meetup.com, I assume. Good, cool. So yeah, we're No Code NYC meetup. This is the June one, and we're really happily sponsored by Glide. One of these days I'll have time to get drinks and some snacks for you guys, but today just going to be the presentation and just chatting. Some things about some just kind of housekeeping. So the agenda, I'll do some quick introductions, have everyone introduce themselves here too. Normally what we do is we talk about just no code news and updates that have happened in the last couple of weeks. And today, as I showed, our main sponsor is Glide. We're going to get like a video demo of the Glide's new AI feature. And next month, the PM who actually worked on the feature is going to come in and talk more about it. You can give him your feedback and stuff like that. And I'll talk a little bit about the co-working day, and then also the LinkedIn group as well. So that's kind of the agenda for today. Nothing super crazy. And so my name is Al. I'm a solutions architect at Coda. We're kind of a no-code tool. Eric is Ronnie. He's another one of the co-organizers. He's a developer community lead at Prismic, which I believe is a it's not really a no-code tool. It's like a headless CMS, I believe, if anyone knows what that is. I always kind of jump all these terms together sometimes. And then John Mello, you probably seen him, you guys haven't seen him because you're new here, but he is a avid builder on Bubble, and he's also a Bubble coach. So if any of you are interested in learning about Bubble.io, he's definitely a great person to connect with, and you can find him on LinkedIn as well. And since it's a relatively small group, why don't we just go around quickly introduce what your name is, what your projects are working on, and also like what brought you to no code. So,
Hi, but my connection to no code would be platform. So I run a small agency that does custom code solutions for websites. Everybody's curious about websites.
So my name is Hiroshi. I used to work for an IT consulting firm, and I bought their product. Engineering position, so I expect to some AI. This is interesting tool that can understand how effective myself.
I'm Jack. I work at HubSpot. I've actually tried to build a few projects on Bubble, not all successfully, but I'm interested in the no-code space. So.
Sweet.
And I'm Sri. I try to use and for like drag and drop apps. So I'm trying to get like no-code for building apps websites.
You said Thunkable?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't heard too many people use that, but it's cool that you.
Yeah, it's like you might get.
Yeah.
Our name is Lee. I read a little bit about our interested in learning a little bit more about what I think they are and specifically.
Cool. Here.
Hi, I'm Raja, and I work for like 90-something technology services company. I'm here to basically understand what government and just get the AI space. My company's trying to push us out of the AI and ML space.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Vivian. I work for a venture capital firm. We invest money against startups with AI right now to try to understand the AI space better. Typically, people will have AI and no code because of a lot of having there. We just try to understand the space better.
I'm Max. I'm from Germany. I'm here for private opportunity, and I'm just trying to find good ideas and meetups. I'm joining an accelerator in September, and I'm just kind of curious.
Is Accelerator in New York or in?
New York.
I mean, okay, cool. And then back there.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I'm a UX designer and I explored more about what's happening in AI.
I have a niece. I am a high school computer science teacher and notebook developer. I run an tech startup that predominantly integrates AI in educational solutions such as lesson planning or tutoring for students. Built it in 5 days, and we are 3 months away since launch.
Hi, my name is Todd. I'm a front-end developer. I'm currently in between jobs, but I'm also planning on launching a startup sometime this year. And I do cross-platform and mobile applications. So I'm here to learn about how to implement AI.
Cool. Yeah, I was going to say before all the AI stuff, like no one here, when I pulled the audience, no one would be talking about AI at all. And now most people are here for AI related reasons. And there's a lot of crossover between AI and no code, of course. So let's just get started with the rest of the agenda. Just a small little tidbit I found out today that our meetup group hit 2,000 members. So there's not 2,000 people here, obviously, but just a nice little milestone for those of you who have been tracking the meetup for the last year or so. And yeah, the first thing was Bubble. There was a big Bubble update 2 months ago in terms of a pricing update. I'm not sure if anyone of you are using Bubble, but that kind of put the whole community up in arms because basically it became more expensive to use Bubble. But last month, or I guess this month, there are some big kind of feature updates in terms of adding a table element, because historically I think Bubble didn't really have a table object to store your data. So that's a new feature that was launched this month. I'm not sure what this is, so those of you who use Bubble might be able to explain this more, but the dynamic expression composer, I'm guessing it has something to do with like how you write formulas in Bubble or something like that. So that was something that was added to the product this month. And then the design canvas, I also haven't played around with this, but it was in beta for like a small number of users, and now it's just available for every single Bubble user. And if you just go to if you just Google Bubble community updates, you'll see they post these really long monthly updates with what they've built into the platform, bugs they've fixed. So yeah, if anyone's interested in Bubble, this community update's a good place to check out what's going on month to month. All right, what else? Glide actions and integration. So this actually kind of puts Glide, one of our sponsors for the meetup, kind of like directly in competition, I think, with platforms like Zapier or Make, formerly Integromat. I'll just actually play the video, and you'll get a sense of what this new feature in Glide does. No, thought I fixed the sound. Let me just try this. Sorry. Yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty similar to like Zapier and if you go back way back when, do people remember that tool if this then that by any chance? So it's basically, I feel like all these no-code platforms are integrating some kind of, I call these kind of automations where this thing happens like in Trello, then send me this message on Gmail or something. And so we're seeing a lot more of these happen. And this just launched, I think, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So it's a relatively new automation feature for Glide. And yeah, it's pretty interesting how many other platforms are doing something like this. But there are whole companies that just do this, like Zapier, for instance. What's next? All right, one company you don't really hear too much going on in terms of no code, but this clearly is a no code platform. So Google, I think the company was called AppSheet. It was also like a no code platform that kind of allowed you to build no code app with spreadsheets. And they just recently launched a new waitlist alpha feature showing you what's possible with AppSheet and AI. And so I think this video also kind of like shows you easily what this is all about. So I'll just play this real quick. Maybe at 1.5x.
Generative AI is the future of app development. It's opening a whole new level of feature and functionality possibilities to make your apps more intuitive, personalized, and effective at meeting your users' needs. In this video, we'll show you how AppSheet, Google's no-code app building platform, is using generative AI to power new features that bring app building to the world. AppSheet is a platform that enables anyone, not just developers, to rapidly create data-driven apps for Google Workspace without code. It can bring the development lifecycle for business apps from months to days or even hours, which means you can spend your time on high-impact work. These apps can be desktop, mobile, or chat applications for use cases such as inventory management, event planning, or marketing campaigns. So what's new? AppSheet just released new capabilities built with generative AI that enables users to go from an idea to an app in minutes, all using natural language. Let's see what it looks like in action. Let's say you want to create an app that helps track travel expenses. You can start by describing your process to AppSheet at a high level. AppSheet engages with follow-up questions to understand the needs of your app. Once it has the information it needs, AppSheet previews the tables for your app and even offers sample data to seed the app for testing. AppSheet goes off to build the starter app, and when it's ready, you can launch the app directly, try out the app, and make your own changes or iterations. In fact, you can continue using natural language to describe the changes you'd like, and AppSheet will help you make the adjustments to your app. Being able to build an app in this way with no code through natural language truly means anyone is now empowered to create applications for their organization and in very little time. So what makes this possible? Taking a look at the components at a high level, the user engages with AppSheet. This interaction relies on dialog flow and generative AI through a custom-trained LLM or large language model, which together supply the information AppSheet needs in order to create the app. Dialogflow quickly collects the foundational pieces of information about the user's business problem that AppSheet knows it will need, so it can build a starter app that will land as close as possible to the user's ideal solution. After collecting the pertinent information with Dialogflow, AppSheet sends a request to the LLM to help with generating the data model and views needed for the app. Once the LLM responds with the correct schema, AppSheet takes all of the information collected and goes to work to create a starter app in just a matter of minutes. The delivered app includes the database, the app interface, and any configurations that were expressed through the interaction, for example, notification preferences. The user can then continue working with AppSheet to customize and iterate further on the app. Both Dialogflow and the LLM may be used by AppSheet during this interaction, depending on the complexity of the request. The use of Dialogflow combined with the LLM amps up this capability of AppSheet, reducing latency and creating a polished application for the user to customize and deploy. So how can you use both of these technologies for building features in your own application? Dialogflow is available to application developers for creating conversational chat interfaces. After creating a Dialogflow agent and defining customized intents and entities, you can use the Dialogflow API to integrate the agent into your application. For the LLM, you can build a model to meet the specific needs of your application using the generative AI support in Vertex AI, or you can discover foundational models provided by Google Cloud and then customize them by creating and modifying prompts as needed and fine-tuning the models with your own data. We hope these new capabilities of AppSheet inspire you in thinking about how you might incorporate generative AI into the evolution of your own applications. From intelligent assistance to personalization, acceleration to extensibility, generative AI is fueling big leaps in innovation. Google Cloud is ready to help you take those steps. Check out the links in the description below for more information on AppSheet, Dialogflow, and Vertex AI.
All right. Now get this up. Yeah, so I think what's cool about it is like they're trying to build Google's trying to build like the back end, the framework for that kind of chat interface that developers can put into their applications. The actual app sheet interface, like I played around with it like a while back, and I think it's kind of crappy. So the actual tool for incorporating the framework into the tool is like kind of dumb. It's much easier to use tools like Glide or Bubble for that matter. But Google's obviously interested in getting into this space, and that's kind of their first shot at like building a framework. Oops. This was the June 8th product hunt email. And it was interesting how AI and no code was mentioned in the email. And I brought this up like, I think maybe a month or two ago. In the first paragraph caught my attention. It says, with the AI hype cycle raging on with no signs of slowing down, many may have forgotten about another post-pandemic area of massive growth opportunity, low and no code. And then it goes on to talk about Softer, how they raised a bunch of money and they launched like a template gallery or whatever. And I think it's just kind of interesting how like AI has taken all the headlines, in the last 6 months, and no code was actually the main topic of conversation prior to that, I think, in Product Hunt and other communities. So it's just to show that like there's still a lot of development happening in the no code space, even though AI is taking all the headlines. And there's a lot of like cross-pollination, obviously. But yeah, hopefully this kind of just shows like, yeah, no code is still like a very big movement despite all the headlines you see about AI. This was kind of like a interesting study from O'Reilly, the book publisher that publishes books about like, how to do different web development, computer science stuff. And I'll send the slides out so you can read the whole study. One of the survey questions was, what are you creating using no low code or AI-driven productivity tools? And surprisingly, like most people answered, we aren't using any of these tools yet. And the small majority or minority were saying like art, images, marketing content, things that we're probably, are probably using today. But as you can imagine, I think O'Reilly, the people they surveyed, was like a general cross-section of like Fortune 500 companies or something like that. So still a long ways to go before it gets into the hands of the mainstream. Yeah, any thoughts about that? Or have you guys heard about companies using AI and low code, no code at all? Or
I'm just curious about this. Does that bundle together? Does that consider AI as a no code tool? Is that what this is implying?
I think it's like, yeah, no code tools or AI. So I think they're kind of, at least O'Reilly is bundling those two things together. Yeah.
Sounds like the number one case people use it is for code generation. So it will be like a case of kind of thing, is that right?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. That because yeah. Yep. All right. This is kind of a fun little headline. Obviously it was very catchy, so I clicked into it and I read more about it, and wasn't really that big of a news item, but still interesting nonetheless. So there was a startup, this person, Hazel Lim, basically in the tweet, she was saying like, I'm going to use $1 to try to build a startup using ChatGPT and try to sell it for $500. And she did. She was able to build an MVP, basically asking ChatGPT, like, I want to build this app. I want to create this marketing content. I want to create this type of website. So she built it all supposedly using ChatGPT, and then sold her platform with however many users she got in 2 weeks for $500. So 500x return in 2 weeks, link to the tweet if you want to see it also. And this is actually kind of a fun thing I heard about, because I was in France for a couple of weeks working remotely. And it turns out the no code France community is like huge. There's like one Slack channel for the entire country. And they have meetups in Paris, Marseille, like all different cities in France. And it's like I just talking to some people in the community, it's like they're like light years ahead of the United States in terms of people building on different platforms, experimenting, and this guy Stan, he is actually creating the first, I believe, a documentary about no code and low code. And I might have a small part to play in the documentary because I happen to be in France when I met him. But I'm just going to play the video and you can kind of see what he's talking about. He also like does tutorials on how to do things in Glide, Bubble, all different platforms. I think he started off as like a documentary filmmaker and then realized like no code tools is kind of like the future. So he just kind of went all in. And yeah, I'll just kind of play the video really quick and you'll see more about the first documentary about no code and low code. Just kind of interesting. All right. You'll have to turn on the subtitles too, because it's all in French. Subtitles. Yeah.
Aujourd'hui, je vais avoir besoin de toi pour réaliser un film. Tu vas voir ce film qui risque de bouleverser ta vie. Mais avant ça, il faut que je te raconte une petite histoire. En 2019, je suis tombé totalement amoureux. Cet amour, il m'a permis de rencontrer 10 000 personnes, de vivre, de créer des liens, d'organiser des événements et même de fonder une fête. Même que cet amour, il m'a permis de moins travailler et d'être beaucoup plus efficace. Cet amour, il s'appelle le no-code et j'aimerais que tu le rencontres. Comment ça, c'est quoi le no-code? De ne pas connaître ces outils qui permettent à n'importe qui de pouvoir faire des sites web, des outils en ligne, des applications web, des applications mobiles, sans jamais à écrire aucune ligne de code. Nada, zéro. J'aimerais que tu découvres avec moi comment le no-code, ça permet de démocratiser l'accès aux technologies complexes et surtout, ça permet à tous et à toutes de pouvoir faire des projets en ligne alors qu'on n'a pas de compétences techniques. Je vais t'emmener à la rencontre de 6 personnes qui ont un parcours ultra inspirant, qui fait des choses énormes et surtout qui utilisent le no-code au quotidien pour que tu puisses comprendre comment toi, ça apporte te servir. La France est là la plus grande communauté no-code au monde. C'est qu'il y a des gens qui sont sur un Slack qui s'appelle No-Code France. Et ils sont plus de 10 000. Et ils sont là, ils discutent, ils posent des questions, ils échangent. Je suis actuellement en train de lancer une collecte de fonds pour pouvoir lancer la production d'un film. Cette collecte de fonds, elle a l'air de pouvoir financer ce documentaire. Aller à la rencontre des personnes, payer les jours de tournage, avoir une équipe qui m'accompagne et surtout pouvoir faire le montage et la diffusion des documentaires au plus grand nombre de personnes. Sous cette vidéo, tu vas avoir toutes les informations pour y participer. Que tu aies 10, 20, 50, 100, 8 000 euros, évidemment, le financement, il est ouvert à tous et à toutes. Merci encore à toi. Tu as toutes les infos en description. Alors, n'hésite pas si tu as des questions. Je fais des bisous et puis j'espère vous voir bientôt dans le crowdfunding. Et évidemment, on se verra à la première, j'espère. Salut.
So yeah, that's Stan and his no code documentary. And he kind of started like this like Kickstarter thing for his documentary, and of course all in French, but yeah, it was just aiming to raise 4,000 euros and got close to 10,000, so definitely hit his goal. And so he's basically going around, as you saw in the video, going around the country and talking to people who are kind of like, you know, trailblazing in this world of no code tools. And yeah, as you saw in the short video, there's like over 10,000 people in this like Slack community. Yeah, a lot of conversations happening. They have like a channel for every single tool you can imagine in the no code space. And I think the most common tools are like Softer, Airtable, Notion's in there, Coda's in there. And so it's kind of interesting just seeing how people are just like using that Slack community as the way to keep in touch with everyone in the whole freaking country. And nothing like that exists yet in the United States. So I thought it was interesting how that community has developed over time. And yeah, that is the documentary. Hey, what's up? What is next? Oh yeah, so we're going to get into the main kind of portion of today. And if you want, you can scan this QR code or go to this URL. The product manager, David, he created a kind of test environment for the this new AI feature in Glide. And I'll also play the video too, but as we're playing, or as I play the video, you can also use the app and kind of play along. Or not really playing, but just kind of use the app. So I'll just give you a second if you want to type in the URL or scan the QR code. Is the QR code working for people? Or is it? Okay, cool. Yeah, just let me know if you aren't able to get it, but it should work. All right, I'm going to, I think you have to like register with your email and like it sends you a magic link or something like that. So there's some setup involved, but once you're in the app, you just have to put in your name and stuff. So I will play the video that David sent us, and it'll show you all the features that Glide is releasing.
Hey, no code NYC. This is David from Glide. I'm a product manager and want to share with you a demo I made for Meetup. So one of the things that we launched this quarter is integrations in Glide app, so you can start using third-party tools like OpenAI within your app. And so in this demo, I'm going to be demonstrating how to use AI to come up with new ideas as well as transcribe audio. So here, you can start with creating a new task. So let's say get a new pet. Something that I want to do, and as I write this name and submit the form, OpenAI is generating an image based on that task name. So next, I will record some details. So let's say I am looking for a new pet in New York City. I live in a studio and want to make sure that it's a pet that can enjoy being in a small space. So I'm going to add some more details to my task. And you can see here the transcription. So this is OpenAI transcribing the audio that I just recorded. Here I have a button to generate an action plan. So I'm using OpenAI to generate an action plan based on the name of the task as well as the transcription. We got here, research different types of pets. Visit local pet stores. Once you find a pet you want, check for any local laws or regulations. Make sure you're able to provide necessary care. Adopt or purchase a pet. Pretty good. I also created a way to get feedback. So let's say I want this action plan to be more creative. Okay, so just added, I should brainstorm on types of pets and the necessary resources. And so I can also ask it to be more specific. Talking about small breed dogs, cats, guinea pigs, hamsters, gerbils, rabbits, birds, and fish. So all of those are going to enjoy living in a studio apartment. Talking about space and care requirements, local laws. Great. Maybe I want to be more concise. You can see here, it just took on steps and now it's much easier to read. So I can also email this action plan myself, move my email. So you can see here, action plan to get a new pet. Hi, David, I'm AI concierge. I'm here to help get you a new pet. And I took these steps that I had in my Glide app and telling about the deadline. So this is all built using our integration with OpenAI. If I go into the data, you can see here that I have these OpenAI inputs. So here's a recording, for example, that's being transcribed. I'm also using a template column within the product, so I can just describe to OpenAI what exactly I'm asking it to do. So for example, your review, I do this task, you can describe the task that needs to be done, and your job is to provide the next steps, complete the task. And use the type of replacement, so I have task name, replace with the task name from table, task description, replace with the description from the table or from the reporting, and then ask for next steps. To regenerate, I'm using the helper table, so you can choose these different options. It's changing the value here to more concise, for example. I have the prompt where I am basically, again, the task name, description, original next steps, the user feedback, and then revised next steps. And that's giving me these outputs. So the transcript, the next steps, here I have manual input. This is where it's the output. And also have the prompt for the email. So here, your concierge helping a customer to complete a task, write a professional email. So that's how this works. And if you want to think about, you want to see how you configure this action. It's really simple. You go into this button, add the action. And within our action editor, you can see I have like a wait condition. So you can see, the user can see that it's thinking. I give the prompt here, which is initially it's next steps prompt, but there's also regenerate next steps prompt. And I have that just paste or write the results to next steps menu input. Play sound, show them switch. So hope you enjoy this demo. I'll show this app so that you can just start adding your own tasks and start playing around with the outputs. I have found though that the less detail you provide around the specific next steps, you get a better action plan. So have fun, and hopefully I'll see you next time.
All right. You guys get a chance to play with it, or what do you guys think? I play around with it a little bit. I think it's interesting how it's, you know, at the end of the day, it's still, you're looking at a table, kind of like a spreadsheet to generate the output, to create the different kind of like AI columns. So I think behind the scenes, it's kind of like still going to use kind of like a table-like structured interface to build out the AI prompts. Yeah, curious if anyone has any thoughts about feature. And I think he'll be here next month to talk more about it if you want to ask him in person, if you have any feedback or thoughts. All right, so I guess I'll move on. No, there's no other comments. Yeah, that's kind of like the main content for the meetup today. I think every 2 weeks we also do co-working here. Glide sponsors 5 day passes, so just keep a lookout on the meetup page if you want to just get free co-working here at NomadWorks. And we usually have a section, a table over there on the second floor. So just keep a lookout for that announcement. And then, yeah, we have a small LinkedIn group. We're trying to grow it just because we're trying to hopefully one day move off of Meetup and into another, I guess, closed interface. But we're just trying to like grow the LinkedIn group to just foster more conversations and stuff, because it's kind of hard to do that right now on meetup.com. So yeah, that's also available. And I think that is it. So yeah,